Corey and Jordan, we are in the Creation Lab now here at downtown Denver Expeditionary School, and we've got the facilitator here, Reeves. Good morning, Reeves. Tell us a little bit about the Creation Lab. What is it?
Yeah, so the Creation Lab is a place that, people would usually view it as an art room, but it's really more of a place where kids get to come in and exercise their creative thinking and learn how to develop that skill along with their analytical skills to learn how to do collaborative work and really, create things beyond their expectations.
Tell me what a task party is, because you guys do that here.
Yeah, so we're having a task party right now, and this is kind of like the ultimate accumulation of all the skills they've put together. So they go out, they pick a task. It could be anything. It could say make a robot. It could say turn yourself invisible. It could say give yourself a flower. And they have to walk in and with like zero direction, they can choose all the materials in here and make that thing and see their idea come into fruition and all the different ways it can go. So there's not just one way to do it, there's infinite ways to do it.
We love encouraging that creativity. Thank you so much, Reeves.
Absolutely.
And we've got you, Eloise Hansen, our fifth grader. Tell us, what do you love about Creation Lab? What's so exciting about it?
It's like, oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
It's not a typical art room where you just go and draw. We use cardboard, glue, and all that kind of stuff, and it just makes you feel more like powerful in a way, like when it comes to art. And I'm a big crafter at home, and I always feel like I want to do it at school, and now I can.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite project? Tell me.
Well, the task parties are pretty fun, but right now we're making arcade games, and it's no technology involved. It's just cardboard and the resources you can find, and right now that's really fun. So yeah.
You let your imagination run wild, kind of deal.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Eloise.
Welcome. You're welcome.
And thank you, Reeves, for being here this morning.
Thanks for coming. Let's get to work. Let's make some stuff.
Oh yeah, let's get our task party going then this morning. Back to you guys, Corey and Jordan. Isn't this place cool?
I was about to say, makes me want to go back to school myself.
Truly, that rock climbing wall we saw in the last hour, that was amazing.
Workout for your mind and your body.
Yeah.
All right, Courtney, thank you. Let's take a live look over Loveland Ski Area this morning and the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel right nearby, where the snow is coming down across the metro area as well. But good news for the high country for skiers that are getting some of that snow up there. We're going to check in with Chris for your weather forecast in just a couple of minutes.
New numbers this week show that the U.S. economy grew faster than expected in December. The GDP, which measures goods and services produced, jumped by 3.3% last month. Most analysts predicted the figure would be more than a point lower. In 2023, the U.S. economy grew 2.5%, also ahead of Wall Street expectations. But then there's this. More people than ever are spending too much of their income on housing. A new report from Harvard finds more than 22 million people spent more than 30% of their income on rent and utilities in 2022. That's a record high. Housing is considered affordable if it comes no more than 30% of a person's gross income. The report says while rent increases have slowed since 2022 as more apartments and houses have been built, wages haven't kept pace.
Well, roads are mostly wet across the metro area this morning, but there are some notable exceptions on the south and east sides of town. Aurora down through Centennial, the DTC. I know that you got snow-covered roads out that way, but downtown Denver, roads are mainly wet out there, and for most of the metro area, they are as well. So those overall headlines. We're talking about that snow mostly this morning. It's already starting to wind on down. I think the next couple of hours, any snow that we've got should pretty much come to a close, and then it's going to be much warmer and drier for the rest of the weekend and into next week. Meantime, snow for us here in the Denver area and also southern Colorado as well. Closer look in here at Denver, where the snow this morning before about dawn was from about 225 on east. Now it's on the other side of 225 and really west of I-25 is where we're seeing the heaviest of the snow right now here in the metro area. This is where we saw the heaviest snowfall totals. Within this circle's probably where you're looking at the worst of those impacts out on the roads this morning. Temperatures at, if not slightly above freezing, which means that any wet roadways, watch out for bridges and overpasses. Those will freeze over first, and we're right around freezing, which means we could be talking about some of those slick overpasses. Heaviest snow will stay south and west of Denver. It slowly dissipates in town as we head through the morning, and by about noon to 5 o'clock, that snow will come to a close entirely around the metro area with those last flakes, probably on the south and west sides of town. Winter weather advisory, by the way, saw a 7-inch snowfall report on the north side of Colorado Springs, so very different situation in southern Colorado, 4 to 10 inches of snow over Levada Pass, so watch out if you're traveling Highway 160 later on today. Heavy snowfall at times for us here in southern Colorado. That snowfall, again, this is going to be some of those totals, trace of 2 inches. A few spots may have picked up 3 inches on the south side of Aurora. And for today, 40 degrees for us in Denver. Light snow mainly before noon, and then we warm things up and dry things out. Big ridge of high pressure builds in, and that means we're going to be turning much warmer and much drier for most of next week. Highs in the low 60s. How about that for most of next week?
Listen, you're making my day. I'm ready to, get my golf clubs out, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't swung them in a hot minute. Let's go ahead and get you out the door right now. Not 100% sure where photojournalist Joe Swanson is at this hour. Arapahoe Road southbound. Director Alex Kirk, thank you, my friend. Actually looks pretty clear out here. We've, of course, have our team coverage just kind of keeping tabs on what things look like in different areas. A little bit of wetness is what we're seeing on southbound Arapahoe Road at this hour. Let's go ahead and bring you over to CDOT as you get ready to travel along I-25, along different portions of 270 and 225. Just a general wetness is what we're seeing right now. We're in these cameras not seeing that snow falling, of course. As Chris was talking about, some areas are still seeing it, but you can really see it splashing up on the interstate in the North Washington area here at 58th Avenue. We're seeing volume and slowdowns at 225 northbound and Mississippi, and we've got delays at 270 and York Street through Commerce City. Let's take you over to the graphics. I'm seeing almost a 30-minute travel time now. This is a bump up from when we last checked in. It was just a hair over 20 for that northbound I-25 right from Castle Rock to 225. That travel in Castle Rock up to Castle Pines North, really, really colorful. As you get ready to travel on 225, we've got northbound delays into Aurora, southbound delays from Parker Road to the interstate. Travel on I-25, not the worst we've seen. We're looking at 18 to 20 minutes both directions. These should be about 12, 13 minutes when we're not dealing with any morning volume.
Erica, thank you. After completing 72 historic flights over 3 years, NASA's Ingenuity helicopter mission has ended on Mars. The aircraft carried out its final flight on January 18th. The NASA team determined that the helicopter is no longer able to fly. Imagery and data returned to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, revealed that one or more of the chopper's rotor blades were damaged during landing. It was designed as an experiment only, planned for 5 test flights in 30 days. The aircraft became the first to operate and fly on another planet. The X Games are starting today with many athletes from Colorado competing in the event, but if you're planning to go see it, you may want to plan ahead as many more fun events are taking place up in the high country. The 2024 X Games kicks off in Aspen today. The three-day event will feature some of the best skiers and boarders in the country going head-to-head. Many of them are from Colorado. For Crested Butte native Aaron Blung, coming back to his home state every year is special, especially since there are a lot of Coloradans competing in his event.
We're all kind of from different places, but we all kind of we've known each other for so long, us Colorado boys, that we kind of come in like a little bit of a crew in a sense. Which is cool just because there are different, like in slopestyle, there are a lot more maybe like Utah based or either like European based or Utah based. And so it's cool to kind of have like in half pipe, like that Colorado crew, like running deep together.
Yeah, all the Colorado kids together. Blunk and the rest of that Colorado crew will compete in the men's super pipe on Sunday. Now, heads up, if you are planning to head to the X Games, CDOT says expect a lot of traffic along the I-70 mountain corridor this weekend. Other than the X Games and, of course, just the skiing traffic, you have the International Snow Sculpture Championships in Breck and Vail's Freestyle Competition also taking place all at the same time this weekend. There's also some snow in the forecast, as we already said, so that is also going to affect some of the driving on I-70. Give yourself plenty of time.
Yeah, we're seeing some of that snow right now here in the metro area. Here's a look. These are unofficial reports I've gauged by some of you. Thank you for sending these in on email, social media. 4.5 inches in Monument. That's a pretty good amount for us out that way. And the southeast side of town, that's where we picked up 2 to 3 inches worth of snow with a very narrow band, but for most of us, under an inch of snowfall from this event. Still seeing some snow right now here in the metro area. Looks like at this point, the heaviest is now south and west of town. Starting to see that snow dissipate along and east of I-25. Any snow we've got will continue to shift to the south and west side of town. Most of us done by about 10 o'clock this morning, and then by tonight, we'll clear things on out. For today, here in Denver, 40 degrees, light snow mainly before noon. That 7-day forecast. Once we get past that, 50s, 60s for the next few days.
Firefighters are at a much higher risk of developing cancer than the general population. Coming up, how several groups are working to keep their firefighters healthier and living longer. Good morning. I'm Corey Rose with your 9 News Morning's Local Look. We are following breaking news out of Greenwood Village this morning. Fires at 2 restaurants and a burglary investigation. We have the latest from the scene. Firefighters are at a much higher risk of developing cancer than the general population. And now several groups are working to keep their firefighters healthier and living longer. And over on KTVD, we're recognizing one school that is using a unique approach on getting their students ready for the future.
And right now we want to show you what the commute is looking like. Snowy out here across certain portions of our state. It's really only accumulating, though. It looks kind of pretty and festive on the grassy areas, on the trees, but not the interstate. It's hitting the pavement and it's just turning to a general wetness. So we've got some volume at 225 and Parker Road. This is I-25 and 84th. We've got some flurries and flakes flying along that area. Quick check of the graphics right now. We've got a crash just off of I-25 on Ridgegate. Northbound I-25 travel over 30 minutes now from Castle Rock to 225.
And a few spots we picked up as much as 4.5 inches worth of snowfall here on the south side of the metro area. Southeast side of the metro area, we picked up some localized banding that led to 2 to 3 inches worth of accumulation out this way. But that snow starting to dissipate for us here in the Denver area. Starting to see more of it here on the south and west sides of town, and that trend will continue. We'll see more of that snow again, south and west side of town as we head over the next little while. Today, high near 40 for us, mostly cloudy skies for us, and then in that 7-day forecast, 50s, 60s for the next few days.
We're headed back over to KTVD. We'll be there until 9 o'clock this morning. We're also streaming live on 9 News Plus.
Developing news in Greenwood Village, where crews are battling a fire at a restaurant at the shops at Greenwood Village. 2 fires now, we have learned. This is just off of Arapahoe Road east of I-25.
9 News reporter Brianna Fernandez joins us live from the scene with an update. And Brianna, on top of all of this, they're also looking into a burglary there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So 2 fires, a burglary, 2 different locations, same shopping plaza. Now we're getting a better look. So let me kind of walk you through what we're seeing on our end now that the sun's coming up. We're actually seeing damage to the sports book bar and grill. This is the second location where firefighters noticed a fire started. It's unclear if this broken window is part of that break-in. We're still unsure because Greenwood police have not given us that much information, but firefighters with South Metro Fire, they said that they started first at a smoke fire coming out of the Hibachi Bar and Grill. It took them about 20 minutes to get that fire under control. And then less than an hour later, crews noticed smoke coming from 4 units down, which is the Sportsbook Bar and Grill. That's where that second fire started. So not only did firefighters have to deal with 2 separate fires, but also that burglary call. And we know there was also fire damage, smoke damage, and water damage inside both businesses. So right now, what I'm noticing is a lot less emergency personnel. We did have 70 fire crews here on scene. Right now, we only have 1 fire truck, but we're seeing mostly Greenwood police on scene as well. So they're focusing their investigation not only at the Hibachi, where I'm seeing yellow crime scene tape, but they're also focusing their investigation right here at the Sports Book Bar and Grill. So of course, we have reached out to Greenwood Village Police. Like I mentioned, we're still waiting to hear back. Once we have more information, we'll definitely keep you updated.
All right, Brianna, thank you for the updates all morning long. Let's take a live look outside at downtown Denver on your Friday morning. It was downtown Denver.
Now, you know, it's just a black hole that we've been sucked into. This is a live look outside the 9 News studios at Spirit and Logan. As you can see on the camera, we got some, you know, water coming down, moisture in the air. And the farther south you go down, it turns into snow. Yeah, it looks much different south. And we're also monitoring your morning commute as we're experiencing some wet conditions on the road as well. Good morning. Happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. Feels so good to say that. Finally, what a year this week was. Let's get a check of your forecast now with Chris Bianchi outside in the 9 News backyard. Chris, now the good news for our morning commuters is it's still above freezing, so that water's not really freezing on the road.
Yeah, that's, I think, been our saving grace, Corey and Jordan, in most parts of town. I know if you're joining me from South Aurora, from Parker, Centennial, Lone Tree, it is a different situation for us on the south and east sides of the metro area. That's where we saw a localized band between about 4 and 5:30 this morning put down a good 2 to 3 inches of snow in those spots. Rest of the metro area, this is a low impact snow event, frankly. But Monument, Palmer Divide, 4.5 inches worth of snowfall, 3.5 inches in Lone Tree. HD Doppler radar showing us some of that snow right now. And closer look in, we're seeing some of that snow mostly on the south side of town right now, but that is coming to a close as we speak. Heaviest snowfall will be south, little or no accumulation on top of what we've seen for most. And Denver, we'll see things clear on up overnight tonight. But for today, temperatures in the low 40s, mostly cloudy skies, light snow mainly before noon, and that 7-day forecast, 50s, 60s for most of next week.
Chris, thank you so much. Right now, we're having conversation right now, you know, in our little breaks here. Right now, we want to help get you out the door, though, because it's snowing, as Chris mentioned. It is not accumulating on our interstates, but it is on the trees and the grassy areas, making it look kind of pretty out here. Just a general wetness is what we're dealing with at 225 and Parker Road. Same story at I-25 and 58th Avenue. We've got some northbound volume. I-25 and 84th, we've been seeing some flakes fly on and off. We're still seeing those. But again, accumulating on the grass, not on the interstate. I-25 and Arapahoe moving pretty nicely. Quick check of the graphics for you this hour. We've got a crash just off of I-25 at Ridgegate Parkway. That travel time keeps getting worse, though, as we check in on northbound I-25 from Castle Rock to 225, almost 40 minutes with real delays between Castle Rock up to Castle Pines North. And then we have another crash right now, fairly minor, just off of C-470 at Broadway if you're going to be traveling through the Highlands Ranch area.
Erica, thank you. This morning, we're learning new details about a crash in Idaho Springs that sent 13 people to the hospital. Officers say they don't normally see crashes on this stretch of roadway, so this was a surprise. And when they got here, it was all hands on deck. The Idaho Springs Police Department says the vehicles were driving in opposite directions when the passenger van crossed the center line and hit the Toyota SUV head on. Only one person was in that SUV. The driver was taken to the hospital. Police say 13 people were inside the van when it crashed, and 12 of them were taken to the hospital. We now know the van is registered to the Second Home Adult Community Center in Aurora. Police say the passengers on board were all from Iraq and residents at the facility. Police cited the driver of the van with careless driving resulting in injury.
Developing overnight, Aurora police say a young person is in the hospital after a shooting. This happened last night on Dillon Way near I-225, and 6th Avenue. Police say that he is expected to survive and they don't have any information on the suspect just yet. However, they are asking if you do have information, call Crime Stoppers. Well, we are entering day 8 of people in Indian Hills not having clean drinking water. Crews still have not found the original leak that is messing with this system. The search is going so badly that the Colorado Rural Water Association sent a team to help out there. The Water District set up a water filling station in town so that people can stock up on clean water for drinking and cooking. Now, some neighbors are getting creative for other water needs.
We've been getting water from the gutters to do the toilets, but Debbie said she doesn't have gutters.
Right. I just have big pails I'm filling up with snow and letting it melt, and then you have to take all the debris out of it before you can put it in your toilet.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope they can fix the system soon so they don't have to do that much longer. Well, the water coming out of people's taps right now is high in nitrates. The water is not safe until it is boiled for at least a minute, and it's not safe for infants at all.
New this morning, when younger Denver firefighters were diagnosed with cancer, it rattled the department. Now the agency is in the middle of an evolution of how to keep firefighters healthier and living longer. Now, as reporter Anusha Roy joins us this morning, and Anusha, there's been a big cultural change.
Yeah, it's pretty huge. Denver Fire said this is being called the era of modern firefighting. They are focused on preventative care and education, and that's because the risk firefighters face is also changing right now. We saw part of this effort when Kaiser visited a Denver fire station for on-site screenings. They were looking for signs of cancer, heart disease, checking blood pressure and diabetes and cholesterol. It's unfortunately well known that firefighters are at higher risk for certain cancers and cardiac issues. But the thing is that they're still figuring out and learning about what exactly puts them at risk. Just one example here is building materials have changed. So now firefighters are inhaling a lot more burning synthetic materials and plastics. So between that issue, more preventative screenings, more education, it's all playing into younger firefighters finding out that they have cancer.
We've had some young firefighters develop cancer, and that just really scared our population, as it should. And so the only way we can combat it, we can't, not go on calls, we can't not be exposed, but you can control the things you can control. So, taking off your gear, when you're done with a call, and cleaning your gear, and not working out in your gear.
So this effort is not just unique to Denver. It's a part of a cultural change in several agencies across Colorado and the country. I'm thinking a lot about the South Metro firefighters out on call this morning for that breaking news. They were the first agency I actually talked to years ago working on this exact kind of culture change within their agency as well.
It's such a change than what it was so long ago. When my dad was a firefighter a long time ago, if you had soot on your face, it was like a badge of honor. That has totally changed now. They want you to get out of that bunker gear, get in a shower, and get all of that off of you as soon as possible.
Yeah, 100%. And that is one of the biggest things, because you were right. That was a huge cultural thing of, look, I was out on this fire and look at what I did and the heroic efforts. But now they're realizing that can't stay on their skin. They can't allow that to absorb into their skin. And actually, the South Metro Assistant Fire Chief was battling terminal cancer as he was trying to actively change that exact thing within the agency as well.
It's good that so much change is happening. It needed to happen. Anusha, thank you. The Republican superminority in the Colorado House has a new leader. Rose Puglisi takes on the role after Mike Lynch stepped down due to his drunk driving and weapons arrest. Puglisi now represents El Paso County. She used to be an elected official on the Western Slope. Lynch originally said he wouldn't quit when his arrest went public. Facing anger from his own party that he'd hid the arrest from them, he decided to leave his leadership post as he continues to run for Congress. Lynch's first debate in that race is now in the books, and come to find out, he is not the only candidate who's been arrested.
Yeah, during last night's Republican CD4 debate, 6 of the 9 candidates announced their arrest to cheers from the crowd.
Have you ever been arrested?
Do we get to...
This, of course, all stems from Lynch's arrest record that we just mentioned, which has recently gotten a lot of attention. And these candidates claim that their arrest records are not necessarily a big deal. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert's interaction with police is more than an unpaid traffic violation. There was also an altercation at a country music fest. The primary election is coming up in just over a month. That is on March 5th. And it's time for our Cool School of the Month. This one helping prepare students for life after graduation in a very cool way.
This has been a really fun morning out there. 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon is joining us live from the downtown Denver Expeditionary School. Good morning, Courtney.
Good morning, Corey and Jordan. We're still in the creation lab this morning. I'm here with a teaching assistant, Vernice Best. Good morning, Vernice.
Good morning.
Tell me what you love about Creation Lab.
What I love about Creation Lab is the expressive ability to be who you want and do what you want here, and the space to do that.
Oh, that's beautiful. We love that. Okay, we're going to move on to Jamie. You're in 4th grade, right, Jamie?
Yeah.
Tell me what you love about Creation Lab.
What I love about Creation Lab is that you can just be yourself and you can make your own things, and everybody who's here can support you in whatever you need.
What did you make this morning?
I made these earrings.
Those are some fabulous earrings. Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you.
Okay, we've got Cairo. You're a 1st grader. Good morning, Cairo.
Good morning.
Tell us what was your prompt this morning that you got?
What I got is I got a stick man, but I made a stick monster.
So he had the make a stick man prompt and he made a stick monster. Show me that.
This is my stick monster.
Ooh, that's really cool. Did it help you be creative? Tell me, what was your process with this?
My process was that I found this hat in one of those bins, and I got some of these like legs, and I found this eye, and that's how. And I have like this brown stuff, and that makes and this fits on the head, and this is how I made a stick monster.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Cairo.
Welcome.
Oh my goodness. So you see how Creation Lab really gets these kids, their creative juices flowing. There's no right or wrong answers here, and they're just allowed to create and have fun and be expressive. Corey, Jordan, back to you.
Yeah, definitely testing their skills in different ways. The kind of school that makes us wish we could go back to schools ourselves, Courtney.
I know. I think about that a lot, like just the social emotional learning that they encourage here, the team building that they encourage here, and also the expeditions and the adventures that they go on, all the creativity. It's so great.
Setting them up for a very successful future. All right, Courtney, thank you.